I'm going to show you how to pack for a 7-day motorcycle trip on 3 different motorcycles. I'll pack the same things just on different bikes with different luggage configurations. For this demonstration, I'll use a Yamaha Tenere 700, a Triumph Scrambler 1200 XE, a Harley Davidson Street Glide, and then just for fun, I'll load up the Honda Trail 125 and to see just if everything fits on it as well. As the editor-in-chief of North America's largest motorcycle magazine, I've traveled to 34 countries and traversed all but 5 of our states. I've also led and helped lead international motorcycle tours that were anywhere between 9 and 13 days long. From leaving my garage on my own motorcycle to flying rides, I've done it all. This video, however, focuses on how to pack if you're going on a trip from home on your bike. Flying rides are a different topic for another video. Here's a mantra I go by when packing. Less is more, but don't sacrifice comfort. The most important part when packing for a multi-day trip is prioritizing comfort. You will spend the majority of your day in the saddle, so you should bring gear that keeps you safe and comfortable while riding. This includes a helmet, neck gaiter, jacket, gloves, pants, boots, and don't forget about technical base layers. Also, rain gear, extra gloves, and if it gets cold, heated gear. Motorcycle riding is fun, but traveling and exploring on a motorcycle is even more fun. For this video, we'll assume you'll get off your bike several times a day to walk around and enjoy the views. Also, I'm not planning on camping on this trip, so this is not how to pack camping gear. So how do I pack a motorcycle that makes getting my luggage in and out of the hotel as easy as possible? Keep watching. Now that we've covered what motorcycle gear to bring, let's talk about regular clothes. For a 7-day trip, you can pack enough clothes without having to do laundry. Any trip longer than 7 days will inevitably require you to do some washing, so no matter if I'm on the road for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, I pack for 7 days. Check out the link in the description for a detailed packing list. 2-3 days before leaving for a trip, I lay everything out on the bed. This way I can see everything that I am bringing, and I can also think about, do I really need this item or am I forgetting something? All of this is what I bring for a 7-day trip on a motorcycle. I have 7 pairs of underwear, 4 pairs of socks, and before you judge me, I wear these twice because I'm only wearing these in the evening for a few hours. I also bring 1 extra pair of riding socks. This is one item I wash in the sink pretty much every night, so I have fresh riding socks. Pair of swim trunks. I have 4 t-shirts that I can wear in the evening. I have 2 button downs to classy it up. I have a pair of long pants and shorts. I really like using packing cubes, and I always prefer light colored ones. It's just much easier to see the items once they're in it. And also, once everything is in a packing cube, it slides into a bigger piece of luggage much easier. It just keeps everything nice and contained for the trip. So let's see if everything fits in these packing cubes. This one, I still have some extra room. If I'm expecting to be in an area that has some chilly evenings, I will throw in a sweater here. And I don't have it out now, but a small bag of toiletries would also go into this bag as well. So then I have 2 packing cubes, and this gets me through a 7-day motorcycle trip. Tip: my granddad always said you can only wear 1 pair of pants at a time. In my experience, jeans take up the most room when packing, so it's an item you only wear a few hours every day. So really think, do you need a pair of jeans? On long trips, I always end up washing at least 1 item in the sink in the hotel. Synthetic fibers will dry overnight, cotton will not. Now that everything is laid out, clothes, tools, and extra items, let's see how everything fits on these motorcycles. I wanted to start with the Yamaha just because it looks like it has the most luggage capacity. So the Yamaha, I'm probably going to hit some gravel roads. You know, I'm going to be away from civilization a little bit. So just for that fact, I'm probably going to bring just a few extra items that I wouldn't bring on, let's say, the Street Glide. So when going off-road, you need a few more items just to be safe. And I always have what I call my in case of emergency bag. This is pretty much what I move from bike to bike when I go travel. I have, even though most of my gloves are waterproof, I have over gloves, which, you know, the good old crab hands. So waterproof gloves. I rarely use these, but these are over boots in case I really get stuck in a downpour and I have to keep on riding. Or if I ride somebody who's wearing tennis shoes, I have lent these to other riders more often than I have worn these myself. So it's just nice to have. Then I have not one, but 2 air compressors, just because you never know. This one is battery operated. This one you gotta plug in for power, but they're not that big and they're really nice to have. Then I have my tire repair kit tool. Most importantly, I really prefer using the T-handle, because if you really have to shove it in there on the regular one, it can really tear up your hand. So the T-handle is much easier to use. Then I have some tar strips in there, and in case I have a bike with some tubes, I have a tube repair kit as well. Now if I go on a really long adventure ride, I'll bring a spare tube or 2 as well, but they're pretty heavy and bulky, so this time, just in case, so I don't get stranded. A Leatherman tool, because if you have a flat tire and you don't have any pliers to yank a nail out, your tire pump's not going to do you any good, so you gotta have a Leatherman. Some zip ties, always good, never know when you need them. A couple of visor clean cloths so you can see. A rag, never know when you need to wipe something up. A tool roll with these essentials. Now this I've also used several times. You know, a gas siphon in case somebody's running out of gas. Me, of course, you know, as the esteemed editor-in-chief of RoadRUNNER, I never run out of gas, but just in case, I have my siphon. And even though I don't have any bag strapped to it, I always bring extra rock straps, because do you even adventure if you don't have rock straps? So gotta have some rock straps in there too. And then I put everything in my stuff sack, my emergency stuff sack, and personal preference, but I usually put everything in the right side saddlebag that I don't need to get every time. So I can just slide this guy in right here. Okay, so, and then I have plenty of room for extra rain gear in here as well. So I can roll this one up again. And these bags are really nice because they're waterproof and they're really easy to use, and they look pretty spiffy too, I must say. All right, now on the other side, this is where I'm going to put all of my clothes. And let's see, I mean, these are really big saddlebags, so I don't think I'm going to have any problems fitting this in here. So these are my packing cubes again, with 7 days worth of clothes. I can just slide these in here and then roll it up. Let some air out. Roll up the saddlebag, close the top flap, and then close it. So on the right side, I have all of my tools and all my weather gear. And then I still have a tail bag and a tank bag map. For the tank bag and the tail bag, I think it's very important that these are waterproof, because if it starts to rain, nobody wants to mess with a rain fly. So make sure that these 2 especially are waterproof. The tank bag, both of these are by Nelson Rig and excellent quality. The tank bag for me usually has extra gloves, camera, pack of tissues, sunglasses, some allergy medicine, and some chapstick, because you'll be surprised how quickly you dry out on a couple days on the road. And when everything is in here, I always like to put my gloves in first, just to provide a little bit of extra help with the vibration, because I don't want my camera to get damaged. And the reason why I put my camera in here is so it's accessible very quickly. If I'm riding and I see a bear skittering around in the woods somewhere, I want to get my camera really quickly. For the tail bag, Right now, this one is empty, but that's just fine. Because when you're on the road, your luggage seems to expand inexplicably. So the fact that I have all this extra room is a good thing. But if you're out on the trails, you can put your snacks in here and extra water. So I always try to leave empty space. It's never a good idea to be so packed that you don't have any extra room in your luggage. So leave yourself a bag that's empty, just in case. So how do we get all of this in the hotel? Well, this one, the tail bag, to take off, I would have to undo all of the straps, which I'm most likely not going to do. I'm just going to leave this in the hotel parking lot overnight. The tank bag has 4 buckles that I can undo and I will bring inside, or I can take a few trips and take out my camera. I'm not too worried about my extra gloves or sunglasses in there. I mean, I've traveled all over the place and I've never had any security issues with somebody going through my stuff. For the saddlebags, it's really easy. It's a quick connect system from SW Motec. The soft saddlebags are mounted to a plate and then the plate is on the rack. And there's a release button, and I just have to hold this release button down and then muscle it back and up. And then I have the bag off. And I can do the same thing on the other side. I can just pull it back. See, there you go. I have my bags, and then I can go into the hotel. So everything for a 7-day trip easily fit on this motorcycle that visually has the most luggage capacity. So let's move on to the next bike. Let's see how everything fits on the Triumph, which probably has the least amount of luggage. Now for probably the most challenging motorcycle. This Triumph doesn't have a whole lot of luggage capacity. I have this SW Motec bag and it has the same kind of mounting system as the Yamaha, but it's an asymmetric system because of the exhaust. So I only have one bag to work with here that's on the saddlebag. And let me snap this on here. This one, instead of 4, has 3 mounting points. Okay, so for the saddlebag, I only want to put in my gear kit. And granted, this one is a little bit on the heavy side, but I can always take out one of the motorcycle pumps and see if that makes a difference. And of course, I can always, the heaviest part I can leave are the tools, but I'd prefer not to leave the tools behind. And then these buckles secure everything. Okay, so this is secured. The tank bag, I really love this tank bag just because it's magnetic and it's super sleek. Also by SW Motec. It's very small. I mean, in here, I can fit my camera in here, and I have my sunglasses in here, and I don't think I can fit my extra gloves in here, but nope, extra gloves aren't going to fit in here. So what I'll end up doing is I'm going to put my gloves in here because I still have some room in my saddlebag in here. For my clothes, I have a matching SW Motec bag. It's a convertible bag. It looks super cool, but the only problem with this setup is it's not waterproof. So I do have a rain fly in here in case it gets wet outside. So let's see if I can slide my clothes for 7 days in this bag. And it does fit, all right. And that's another reason why I love these packing cubes, because they just slide right in. And then you have to use the Velcro at the top, let some air out. And then you can close them on the sides. Close them on the sides, here you go. Come on, get in there, all right. And then I can mount this to my rear seat right here. So what I like about this, and then I would have to take off these buckles, and then I have mounting points. What I always do is mount it here, and then on this shock mount right here, and I can secure it. I've done a few trips like this, and it's worked out very well. I did go through a light rainstorm, and everything did stay dry, but I wouldn't ride in the rain all day long with this setup. I would have to put the rain cover over it. So that is the only drawback, but style-wise, this looks really good. I mean, it's such a good-looking retro classic that I didn't want to put too much of a dry duffel on it. So this black and brown combo from SW Motec, I mean, it just looks really good. The only problem with this, I don't have any extra room for any spare items. I could fit a water bottle into my saddlebag still, and I'm still wearing my hat, and I could still shove that in here, but I'm maxed out. There's not much else room for this. I do have one trick up my sleeve in case I need it. I mean, I could wear a very small backpack, but I really don't like wearing backpacks when I'm riding, just because it puts a lot of strain on the back and the shoulders. And if you're riding 7 days in a row, it's gonna get old real quick. Sometimes it's okay if you wear a really small backpack with just some water in it, or maybe just your camera, that's fine. But I wouldn't wear one that has a bunch of clothes in it, or tools even. So if you wear a backpack, keep it light. If you do need a somewhat waterproof backpack, this one from Peak Design is really nice. It's a backpack and it's quite large, so I can literally take this entire SW Motec bag and shove it in here and close it up. And then these shoulder straps, they tuck into here. They tuck away, and I can put them up. So, and then same concept. I have some straps in here, and then I could strap this bag to the motorcycle. And it does have waterproof zippers, but I can still see a little bit of holes in it. So if it would rain, I would position these in a way where water is least likely to get in there. And then I have a little bit of extra luggage capacity. So you could go with a slightly larger bag, but it just, personally, I don't like the look of a huge bag on a pretty motorcycle like this. When it's time to go to the hotel, this one also pretty simple. I'm pretty sure I could take all my luggage in one trip. Once all this stuff is gone, I can either use it as a backpack, or if it's the SW Motec bag, just carry it. This is easy. The saddlebag, if it wants to come off, also I can just carry it. And then of course the magnetic tank bag, I can carry everything in one trip and I'm in the hotel. So super easy, not a whole lot of trips. At this point, you're probably wondering, where are Flo's shoes? Well, that's if I forget something on a motorcycle trip, it's usually my extra shoes. And depending on the location, I'll either bring a pair of sneakers for the evening, or if I'm really just going to dinner or lounging around, then I have a pair of sandals. So I already have my pair of sandals in here, and I have plenty of room in the Yamaha for the sandals, and makes it very easy. This was pretty challenging. The Harley might be even more challenging. I don't know. I only have two relatively skinny saddlebags to work with, but let's see if it fits. This Street Glide is such a beautiful motorcycle. I didn't want to put on a passenger backrest and put a sissy bar bag on it. I didn't want to bungee a bunch of grocery bags to the passenger seat. I wanted it to look as clean as possible. I do have my doubts if everything is going to fit in this bike for a 7-day motorcycle trip with luggage and all the extra gear, tire pumps, tools, all that good stuff. But let's see. One of the best things you can invest in for a motorcycle with hard luggage are saddlebag liners. They make getting your stuff in and out much, much easier. So here are my clothes for 7 days in my packing cubes, and they fit just about perfect in the saddlebag liner. I actually have a little bit of room to spare if I wanted to bring an extra sweater. And on the Street Glide, the left side is the cold side and the right side gets a little warmer in the saddlebag. So I'm going to put my camera and all the nice things that I really want to keep okay, I'm going to put in the left side. And I'm going to put it in the saddlebag liner and zip it up and then close this side. There you go. Everything fits. On the other side, this is where the tire pump and battery starter are. I have all of the attachments for them. I have sunglasses in here. I have rain gear in here, extra gloves, and just in case, not just because it's a Harley, but just in case, I have some tools as well. And then I can put it in this side and close it up as well. And look at that. Beautiful, sleek motorcycle look retained. And how is it going to work if you're at the hotel? Will it be easy? Well, thanks to the saddlebag liners, this is a breeze. All you have to do is pull out your saddlebag liner, close that lid again, and then you're off into the hotel. Now, just for fun, let's see if I can pack everything on the Honda Trail 125. On this one, I don't have a luggage system, but I have a huge luggage rack in the back, and I have a secret weapon. A 40-liter duffel bag from Nelson Rig. I mean, it's waterproof, it's huge, it's really nice with a stiffener inside, so it's easy to get in and out of, and it has the yellow panels which illuminate the inside a little bit, so it makes it easy so you can see what's inside. So this one, since I already have everything pre-packed, I have my emergency kit. Just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to throw my whole tank back in there for my Triumph at the bottom, and my clothes for 2 weeks on the road, and I still have room for another pair of sneakers, some sandals, and then I can put everything on here and then roll it up, and then it closes on the sides like so. And I can do the top buckles as well. I'm just doing a real sloppy job right now. I even have an air valve right here where I can squeeze out more air. Once it's on here, I have these handy dandy rig straps, also from Nelson Rig. I would mount one side on the rack, and then the other side I would loop into here. Makes it super easy. And there's something to be said for a 40-liter duffel bag. They come in all shapes and sizes, but 40 liters is pretty big. I wouldn't go any larger than 40 liters. Even if I would be camping, 40 liters is the max. I mean, you see how big this bag is. It would look okay on the Yamaha Tenere 700. On the Triumph, not so much. It would be a giant box on the back. But hey, for a Trail 125, it fits just about perfect, I would say. Same on the Yamaha. So there you have it. It fits, and this one is probably the easiest of them all to bring into the hotel. It's just one bag. You undo the buckles, and then you have your carrying strap here, and then boom, off you go. You might wonder, what kind of idiot goes on a 7-day trip on a Honda Trail 125? This guy. Next month, I'm going to take this bike on a week-long trip around South Carolina. Look for it in a future issue of RoadRUNNER magazine. You don't need to carry a lot of stuff when you're hoteling it on a motorcycle trip. So stick to the basics. If you travel light and keep your luggage system simple to use, you'll enjoy the ride a whole lot more. Each bike is a little different when it comes to packing, so you'll want to experiment in the garage before you hit the road. And remember, pack smart, and we'll see you on the road. Hey, if you found this video useful, be sure to give us a like. And if you want to see more videos like this from RoadRUNNER, please hit the subscribe button as well.